listening to Fresh Take.
You are listening to the Fresh Take Network.
So this was a crazy year in wrestling. When I was doing the sports one with Peter Klein, we were saying, I'll get quick answers of this before we get to the main stuff, not because we don't have enough categories to talk about. When we did the sports year in review, Peter Klein and I were saying how it was a very modest year in sport. It wasn't like an there was stuff that was cool, but it wasn't like this is an unforgettable year in sport. This was an unforgettable year in wrestling, Morten.
Absolutely. There's from tragedy to triumph, there's a lot that happened this year and a lot of it will shape the landscape for years to come in this industry.
Yeah. Brett, you haven't been on the pod as much, but from watching you and I having conversation, remember you and I at Nationals getting excited for AEW come to Calgary and just a bunch of different stuff just from watching and being afar from the pod, kind of your thoughts on the year of wrestling in 2023.
I mean, it's just so good right now. I mean, there's no shortage of promotions. Everyone's building up. The talent pool is just getting ever stronger and bigger. And we are pretty spoiled right now. Wrestling there's been this year.
We really are. Adam, your thoughts on the year? I know you've been a little bit more in and out.
Yeah, it is really good. It's really exciting, but I find it hard to watch like full episodes of things a lot of the time. I think that's the struggle that everyone's going to agree with. But I'm still in it. I still love wrestling. I'm still excited for what happened this year, what's happening next year.
And Senator, you've been with us the whole way this year. Like I said, the workhorse of Fresh Take, the workhorse of your wrestling podcast. Kind of your thought on the year as a whole.
Products are getting better. Some are some are declining, some are increasing. It's 2024 is going to be an interesting year. But I do disagree with you. I think there was a lot of major stuff that shook up the sports world this year. And I can kind of say there's more to that than I would think in the wrestling world, to be honest.
Right. Well, let us get to this. And by the way, 2024 too is going to be crazy because we're going to have four North American promotions with an American TV affiliate. So it's going to be very interesting, especially with some of the free agents that are still available to come. But we get it started with Best on the Microphone. And Brett, since it's your first time here, you get to go first.
Oh God. I mean, I thought about this one a little bit, but I mean, Best on the Mic, how is it not still CM Punk at this point? He's still the same guy he's always been, and he can always get a reaction, good or bad, out of everybody with what he can say on the mic.
Yeah, I mean, the promo when he came back to AEW, which feels like an eternity ago, he stunned with that. And promo he had in front of the troops where none of the troops got this stuff, but still one of the best on it. Adam, where are you going for Best on the Mic?
My reason is the same. How can it not still be, but it's MJF this year? Because it was MJF last year, I think, for almost everybody. And this year he turned it around by becoming a face, kind of, mostly a face,
Yeah.
and still is the best on the mic. Like he blows everyone out of AEW out of the water. Like it's crazy.
Easily.
So I think it's
Well,
him.
except for maybe someone. I'll go with my pick. I'm going with someone from AEW, but not MJF. It's Christian Cage to me. He got the most reactions, got the heel heat. Maybe not the, we'll get to the heel. Maybe he wasn't the best heel this year, but he just, to be this good on the mic at this stage in your career, we always knew that Christian was good, but this year, a total 360 to where he was. He just kind of seemed one of those middle guys in AEW that kind of would just be in the middle, kind of like what the Hardys are right now. Just be like, hey, there's the legend Christian Cage, and that's cool. It finishes feud with Jungle Boy, and you just move forward. He's done such an excellent job on everything he's done on the microphone to gain the heel heat to the whole father is dead thing. So that's why I'm going to go with Christian Cage. Morton?
You stole my answer.
Okay.
I also have Christian Cage, and as I say, this is the first time I've ever come prepared for these. So I'm not just stealing your answer. I actually have it written down. I can prove it to you, damn it.
I love it.
No, then you're going to see my other answers.
Yeah.
I don't want you to know those because then you'll steal them.
I might.
Oh, Christian Cage deserves his flowers. He's always been great on the mic, and it's finally time to get him.
Yeah.
I think I like all y'all answers. My answer is going to be Bryan Danielson, and I choose him because of believability and the work that he was doing on commentary too. So if I got to look at a heel one that had to do the Blackpool Combat Club after William Regal left and ended up kind of being the mouthpiece there, and his commentary work and just believability, I'm going Bryan Danielson.
I like that pick. We move on. We'll go right back to you, Senator. We're going to announcer. Who do you have for best announcer?
I was gonna make a joke one, but I had to add him as my worst announcer. Actually, you know what? I'm putting him as my best and my worst. I don't care what anyone tells me. Booker T, his understanding of understanding of not knowing anything that's going on and ordering food while commentating.
Hey man, the stuff with Trick Williams.
Yeah, you know what? I'm giving him best and worst. I'm putting both of those down right now.
Morton, where are you going?
I just want to say on that, I love nothing more than the fact that Booker T weekly calls the television show, and yet you get the feeling he doesn't follow the product at all.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. He's
took the torch from Jerry Lawler,
but
that's why he's the best.
Ian Rigoboni is my pick, though.
I love that pick.
Been very impressed with him this year.
Yeah, Riccoboni has been really good, especially because he was just kind of wasn't the guy to be on Collision at first. It was Kevin Kelly, and he kind of found his way in it. The Collision, but that's a great pick. Adam?
Yeah, I struggle with this one because nobody really jumped out in any way, shape, or form for me in announcing. So I just give it to Excalibur again.
Nice.
Last year, he's just always so consistent and so good that no one is topping him by doing anything crazy.
Well, it's my pick, and I chose Brett and I last because we're the two that actually do announce things on here. I won't be the same with Adam, but just for me, it is Excalibur because I don't think people understand, and Brett will, how what he does is so impressive as far as a broadcaster, having stuff put in your ear, having to promote all these different matches, to have the knowledge that he has, to carry that product when Jim Ross is stumbling at times, making everything work. I debated between him and Taz. I thought Taz was really good this year as well. And you know what, since Adam did pick Excalibur, I'll pick Taz, but because I thought Taz was really good, and the collaboration with Excalibur and Taz has hit so well. But everything Excalibur does, it is so hard to have a producer in your ear, talk and say everything at once, say all the matches that you got to do, have all the knowledge he does. He's just the best right now. Brett?
Yeah, I'm also Excalibur. It really, a lot to what you said. It's just the people who are the best at something can make it look so effortless and easy. And it's just so seamless and it just flows. And you brought up Taz, which I really like, is their game together has just been improving so much, and they just work off of each other so good. And it's X is just so great.
I wonder too if with Taz it's a bit of botchamania with the clips they show of Excalibur and Taz together. I think botchamania has added to that combo as well, and the signs for Taz. Next up, we have best non-wrestling performer. I'm interested to see. Well, I'll go with to me, it's Don Callis. I got to see Callis in person at Edmonton. The heat. I think there's only one other person that had as much heat as him this year. We'll get to that in Best Heel. But the heat for this guy, and for a while, Morton knows when we were doing this, we're just gonna call this the Paul Heyman Award because Heyman got it year after year after year, and now Callis has taken that. You look at that faction he's had with the Don Callis family. He loses Sammy Guevara at times. Takesha's not there all the times. Then he gets Will Hobbs in. He makes whatever he needs to make work to get the heel. The radiant sound kind of is like in the end of world music works so well with him. Getting the scab on his head this year and making it turn into something that matters. I'm going to go with Dan Callis. Morton, you seem like you're going in the same direction.
Yes, twice you did it to me, you bastard. I also have Callis for everything you said. I mean, he's just tremendous.
Brent, where are you going?
I mean, it's hard not to say Don Callis, but just for the sake of having a different answer and for some recency bias, I'm going to go with because he's just been so good. I've just been loving what he's been adding to Swerve's character right now, and just a little bit of the goofy to go along with Swerve's seriousness, and it's just brought out such a better version of Swerve. And it's going to be such a good year. Exactly.
Well, as soon as he got on it too, it changed everything around for Swerve. Like Swerve was already great, but then getting that extra level helped him. Adam, where are you going?
I thought about choosing this person, but then they had a match, I think last week or the week before.
One match is fine. One match is fine.
It was going to be R-Truth with the comeback.
I'll allow it.
But I know
I'll allow it.
No, I'm with Brett. I'm with Brett. It's Prince Nana. He's been amazing, elevating Swerve's character so much. He's the pick.
Senator, are you going to break the tie, or are you going to go somewhere in your own direction?
I have Prince Nana.
Okay, I like
Prince
it.
Nana was a thing, and they kept giving him bad stables to work with and just random people and all that stuff. And you matched him up with Swerve, and he elevated Swerve, and now Swerve is main event player right now. So
should be.
Next up is most improved. We'll go with Adam to start off with this one. Where are you going for most improved?
Yeah, this is someone I haven't liked in the past, but this last year they really won me over. And it's Dominic Mysterio had a crazy year this year. He's just dynamite. Him and Rhea together are perfect. I think last year they kind of started it kind of rolling and late last year, but this year they really kicked it in, and he was awesome.
Just to save some time, Dom's my pick as well for everything you said. Brett, where are you going?
I went with Trick Williams. I thought
that's a great pick. Yeah,
I thought his coming out of Carmelo's shadow and just kind of becoming his own character and giving him a little bit more of a platform, and he went from kind of lucking out some wins, and then all of a sudden he just gets that build, and then getting those 4 falls in a minute, and the Iron Survivor was I saw that coming, and it still popped me. It was so good.
He's so over with the crowd now. Whenever he comes to the main roster, if he comes out of the Rumble this year, let's just say, I hope Booker's on commentary in that case, because I need him. I need him with everyone going crazy in Tampa for that. Senator, where are you going?
I'm going Dominic Mysterio for a guy that we all gave up on and thought was going to be cringeworthy, and that's no way that's Rey Mysterio's son, and all the hype that he had coming, whatever. And they compared him with other people his age, and he was not the one. Judgment Day has been the best thing for him, and his character in the Judgment Day has elevated Judgment Day more than Judgment Day has elevated him.
Absolutely. Morton, where are you going?
Can we talk quickly about something here?
Sure.
The travesty that they're feeding him to Punk at house shows right now.
Yeah. And
that is
buildup.
Terrible. They're bringing Punk back and then just having Dom lay down after all the work he put in over the last year or two, man. Sadness.
Well, we need it on TV too, because there's a story there. There's a story there
WrestleMania. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Morton, where are you going?
1 year ago, you would have said Trick Williams was a complete and total jabroni. Yeah. Now, 1 year later, you will say this guy's a future superstar.
Mm-hmm.
That's my pick.
I like it. Those are the 2 picks. I was also looking at maybe
I considered, by the way, putting NXT down as a brand, though it did not seem right to do so. I considered it.
I consider Sky Blue for her evolution. Julia Hart, I saw on a lot of people's lists. I'm like, I don't think Julia Hart improved. That was the only thing. I don't think Julia Hart got
She just got more of a push.
She got more
We'll
of a push, yeah. Morton, best comeback.
So here's one that's interesting. I don't think anybody else will have this one finally. You'll remember in 2022, Samoa Joe was actually hurt for a good portion of it. He was filming Twisted Metal probably 3 years ago, just before he finished in NXT. You know, he faced Karrion Kross. He looked like he was done completely, looked like he couldn't go anymore. He had a great year. He's my pick for best comeback.
I like it. It's a great pick. Senator?
Morden's a guy that remembers a lot of stuff, but as I get older, my memory starts to fade. So I was originally going to put down CM Punk, but I forgot that there was a bigger pop on the night, and that came from one R-Truth. So my best comeback is for R-Truth.
Nice. Brett, where are you going for best comeback?
I went with this one pretty much just based on the return itself, because the comeback itself has had its ups and downs. But I went with Mercedes Moné because I thought her return at Wrestle Kingdom was amazing, and that was
very cool.
I was looking. It wasn't exactly a secret; we all kind of knew it was coming, and they kind of dropped the ball a little bit a couple minutes beforehand. They kind of teased that it was going to happen during the broadcast, but I didn't really care. I loved seeing her return.
She had an outstanding 5-6 months. It seemed like she locked up female wrestler of the year, and now we're like, I don't know. Now it's like that was one of the hardest picks to make. I think I'm interested in the woman pick of the year for everybody. Adam, where are you going for best comeback?
Mine is not a wrestler per se, or hasn't wrestled. It's gonna be Miro's hot and flexible wife, CJ Perry, with the biggest comeback of the year. I'm a big Lana fan. Totally not misused, not underutilized in WWE, but missed. Lana's the best. Lana number one. Love Lana, and having her back is amazing. I think she can do some awesome work as a valet, although she almost died last week. So
yeah, it was gnarly. Luckily, she's okay.
That's crazy stuff.
I almost lost her and Kenny
she...
Omega within just a short time frame. It's crazy.
Yeah, luckily, everyone's good.
Yeah, but she's been great. So I love her.
People that follow this podcast and everyone here knows me well enough that I don't even think I need to say who my best comeback is, but I will just say it because it's CM Punk to the WWE, because holy crap, just, whether you like him or you don't like him, the social media hits have been crazy. The merch sales have been crazy. Look at Madison Square Garden last night. That was absolutely packed to the rafters. The merch sales were the highest sales for a house show in, I think it was 4 years or something. It's been so far a huge comeback. We'll see where we are with Punk when we do this show next year. That's going to be the big thing. But where everything is right now for the first 6 weeks or so, it was kind of what the shirt has said. Hell froze over. None of us saw it come back, but I like everyone else's picks on here too. So I will go with one Phil Brooks returning to the WWE. Next up, we do best gimmick. I'll just go first because this might be a clean sweep. I think I'll go to Brett after this. I'm going with Timeless Tony Storm. This was by far an original gimmick, a gimmick that works, a gimmick that gets over with the crowd. And they've been very smart of how they've done stuff with Luther. I'm interested to see how the Mariah May stuff works going forward with everything like that. And it took Tony, who never really had an identity. She was just kind of Tony Storm that wrestled good. And I think that's a problem with a lot of AEW wrestlers. It's like, who are they? Oh, they're John Moxley. They wrestle, or they're Britt Baker. Brick, I guess it kind of has a gimmick. It's a bad one, but who's Sheeta? I don't know. She wrestles. At least Tony now has something behind her, and I can identify what she's about. So, time is Tony Storm. Brett?
Yep, absolutely. I was worried it was maybe a little bit of a recency bias for me, but I couldn't think of any gimmick that made me laugh and made me just enjoy the product as much as Timeless Tony Storm.
That's why I'm interested to see if these next two, if anyone's going to go off the page, is these next two guys. So Adam, you go first.
No, I'm a huge Tony Storm fan. It's Turner Classic Movies, Timeless Tony Storm.
Senator?
She's great. Everything she's been doing is fantastic.
It is.
I was
And
gonna
she
go.
got the title back with it, and great.
The
I was gonna go
pan in the
to.
butt.
I was gonna go Tony Storm, but I kind of named this gimmick. It's not actually. I don't know how to best describe it, so I'm calling it Righteous Drew McIntyre. It is the part of Drew McIntyre's heel turn, where he believes that he's been screwed and he's on the right side, and that he's doing everything that's the locker room is supposed to be doing, but at the same time still doing a heel turn at the same time.
I
So
like it.
so I'm going, yeah, I kind of just named it Righteous Drew McIntyre.
Morton, where are you going?
TBS champion Christian Cage. Or TNT, sorry, TNT, not TBS. TBS is the other one. TNT champion Christian Cage.
So your
When
father's
he,
dead?
especially when he actually wasn't the champion and Luchasaurus was, and he was acting like he was the champion, that was the funniest, best gimmick I've seen in years.
Definitely up there. I couldn't really, other than that, like I couldn't really, the gimmick side of gimmicks is kind of Trick was kind of a gimmick just because Booker made it one. But they're like we're really dying on gimmicks. I mean, I guess NXT has the most gimmicks, but it's not like any other than Trick is really getting over as far as the gimmick
Come on,
itself.
NXT needs to work on its women's gimmicks because like 80% of them are I'm beautiful and I'm fabulous.
Yeah.
And that's like almost every woman character in NXT.
Morton, we'll go back to you. Feud of the year.
Feud of the year. Dragunov versus Dijak.
Ooh, like it.
That was physical as hell and really fun.
Not a bad one. That's a really good one. Where are you going, Senator?
I chose Hangman versus Swerve.
That's
my feud of the year.
It's a good one as well. Adam, where are you going?
I'm back and forth between two, but I'm gonna do Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
Coming back, and they kind of got thrown
yourself.
into like the mid card, and it was great. And it's still like they elevated that mid card hugely.
And you got with Nick Wayne's mom.
He's got it going on.
Couldn't resist.
Mama Wayne.
Brett, where are you going?
Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay.
That's mine too.
Yeah.
I
mean, what needs to be said about it? It was just two of the matches of the year and the two best performers of probably the generation, and it didn't disappoint at all.
I wanted to do Trish and Lita because some of the matches were good, specifically one, but the feud itself was so inconsistent. That was the problem with it.
Trish and Lita or
Trish
and Becky, sorry. Becky, and then I wanted to Bloodline and Sammy, I debated, but it was just so short this year. It was only really 3 months. So I couldn't go with that. Brett, back to you. Best angle.
I went with MJF and Adam Cole's best friendship and the will they won't they turn on each other. It's just too bad that obviously Adam Cole's injury took him out and ruined the payoff for whatever that was going to be, and now we're stuck with this man in the mask thing.
Yeah, that definitely hurt.
It ruined the payoff, but it elevated the angle a bit.
Yeah,
I think like having like it was fun. Yeah.
My angle of the year was Sammy turning on Roman Reigns because it was absolutely electrifying at the Rumble that night when he finally did it and hit Roman with the chair. And then it just kind of seemed it was cut and paste for the bloodline with everything after that this year at times. But when we had that first initial turn there by Sammy leading into Montreal and how exciting everything was in Montreal. And that was the first time I actually got to see a pay-per-view with Morton. And we were all like, man, are they actually going to put it on Sam? Like people really thought maybe, just maybe, they put it on Sam. And if you remember too, that Montreal SmackDown the night before, just how crazy it was. So I'll go with Sammy turning on the bloodline. Adam?
This was my favorite angle and just somebody I won't have in any other category, and I need to get him in here. But it's Orange Cassidy as the tired champion.
I love
just getting beat down and
I love that.
Still going forward. And that stupid blip with John Moxley, again, we're saying fuck John
Yeah.
Moxley a lot tonight, I guess. But where Moxley takes the title and he gets it back. But like, if he just had that the whole time, he's a year-long champion in my eyes, and he's just been like running through it the whole year, and it's been great.
Morton.
Yeah, I also had the bromance between Cole and MJF
Nice.
because for a several month period, nothing consistently entertained me on television like that did, and I didn't know where they were going, and I love that. I was intrigued.
It led to a good match at the pay-per-view as well. Senator, take us out.
I like to try choosing stuff that everybody doesn't choose. So my own is going to be Jey Uso trade to Raw.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you
Okay.
didn't know exactly
Yeet.
what was going to happen, how
Yeet.
they were going to build that up, and they actually had like backstage interactions that made sense. They had a lot of mixing and matching that made sense. So I'm going to go with the Jey Uso trade to Raw.
It's really
And how about the
important you mention-
continuity,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
That's what I was
Continuity
gonna say,
on
Brett.
Raw. Who would have ever thought?
That felt when, because SmackDown and Raw were both pretty good this year. I felt that last half of the year, Raw really took a turn with an Uso trade. So I really think that was a good pick because of that, Senator, because Raw still started to really click after that trade happened.
Yeah, you had some feuds that came out of it, right? So
Best pay-per-view, Senator.
okay,
PLE.
There's a lot of them that stand out, but this one here I connected with, one because I think it was the most I've ever posted on my Instagram because of it, and two because the crowd was amazing all night.
Do
So
it.
I am choosing WWE Backlash.
That's mine. Let's go.
Yeah, I got that
in
too.
Puerto Rico.
The reason, before you go, Adam, because you picked it too, is the reason you said it. Did it have like every match was a banger? No, but I just keep on coming back to it. The feeling I had for that show was unforgettable. Even Zelina versus Rhea, which wasn't a great match, but the crowd being behind Zelina that whole match was great. The Bad Bunny and Priest match. When I saw Savio Vega, I felt like that was a unexpected return. We should have done that for a best comeback, Savio. I didn't expect, and I popped for Savio and popped for Carlito, and we'll get to maybe that Bad Bunny entrance in a bit here, but that crowd, I don't think I've been that hyped for a crowd. Was it match after match fantastic, like maybe some of these other shows that maybe Brett or Morton will pick? No, but it just felt so electrifying that night. Adam?
Yeah, exactly the same. It's a crowd that can make a pay-per-view. The crowd makes a show in some instances, right? And that match, that Bad Bunny Priest match was it. The only downside for this pay-per-view is that you didn't close with that match.
Yeah,
Totally bad call. Nobody
what was the
can
close?
follow that
Brock
match.
and Cody?
It was Brock and
closed?
Cody, I think.
Yeah.
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 So ridiculous and dumb because that was the match, but that's the pay-per-view for me.
Brett, where are you going?
I mean, yeah, that's a good one, but I'm just gonna say WrestleMania. Like it was so
Which
good
one?
this year.
Which one?
I mean, night one because the
that was my
payoff at the main event was so good, but just the whole event in general, like the triple threat match for the IC title, just big meaty men slapping meat the whole time, and just Gunther is just like amazing. And I wish he could be my answer for every question because Gunther's amazing, but like that was just such a great, yeah.
Congratulations to him and his wife, girlfriend, whatever they are. I don't know. That's a great pick. That was my backup. Morton?
I had AEW Revolution just for the quality of matches that
was very good too.
The Hangman Mox and the Iron Man match and the Lucha Brothers and again the Death Triangle and the Bucks, the Omega, just quality of the matches were unbelievable. The ROH final battle that just happened a couple weeks ago, by the way, I gave serious consideration to.
Was that? I heard it was good. Yeah, I heard it was good.
Oh, it was incredible.
I heard it was good.
Yeah.
All In was also, the cards were stacked against that. You had the stuff with Punk that happened. All Out just happened. Everyone thought it was going to not be an important show. And Tony had to go and do everything with Punk the night beforehand. And we thought the crowd would sabotage it. That show was unbelievable. All In. All Out was great, but All In was such a good show. And show in Seattle that Edge came out. What was the New Japan Dream or whatever it was? The October
Dream?
show.
The
Wrestle Dream. Yeah, Wrestle Dream was really good
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
All really good picks. Morten, I'm going to let you go with this one because I'm interested. Promotion of the year, Morten.
For the quality of those pay-per-views, I'm still going AEW
Okay.
because when you talk about All Out, Full Gear, even the ROH pay-per-views always being good, and let's face it, that's AEW, even if it's called something else, Revolution. Just the quality of the pay-per-views so consistently shows that are 8 or above out of 10. I mean, it's really remarkable. And the fact that they did All Out and All In so close together and managed to pull both of those off amazingly. I still almost, let's put it this way. I'll say it right now. They're also my pick for worst promotion of the year.
I
So-
love it. This is like the Bray Wyatt year. You
This is
pick
like
Bray
the
for
Bray
best
Wyatt
and
year.
worst gimmick.
Yeah, and he deserved it. And I think
And
they
let's not
deserve
forget
it
Senator
too. I
has
think
that
they
pick
deserve
coming up
both.
too. I love it. Brett, where are you going for best promotion?
If you had asked me this 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, never would have said it, but I'm going with the Dove. It's been
Yeah.
so good and consistent this year. And like, I love a good final boss when it comes to a championship holder. And we've got 3 of them right now, 4 of them actually. Like, we got Seth, Roman, Gunther, Rhea have all held those
Yeah.
belts for coming up on a year. And it's been great. Like, the titles have meant something again.
Yeah, on your point, Tommy Dreamer was talking about this on Busted Open. He thinks right now is the best time in WWE he thinks it surpassed the Attitude Era. And if you look at the matrix of stuff, I think it has. Like this Mania coming up, mine's WWE as well. I think Morton made a good, case for AEW this year. But you look at the matrix of everything, it's just, look at the business side. The business is the best it's ever had. And I think it's just also too, the booking is so much more consistent, so much more enjoyable. And you're leading into a Mania. This could be one of the best Manias we've ever had because of the reason you talked about, because I don't think all of them are going to lose their championships, but you're looking at some big time matches against some big time players. So the Rumble, it feels like it's mattered more than it ever has, of who's going to win the Rumble. Is Cody going to finish the story? Is Punk going to come in there? Is Gunther going to try to go for maybe an IC versus Universal Championship match that we're not even preparing for? There's so many consistent questions. So the champions all matter. All the championships matter at this point. You care when someone's a champion and when they're not. Even Logan with the US title now, you want to see him lose because he's such a swarmy piece of shit and you want to see him lose. And elevating guys this year, even though I don't think he's a great wrestler, but guys getting elevated like LA Knight, someone like Chad Gable finally getting their chance. We used to come on this year in review show and we'd always complain about the people that weren't getting their pushes. And there's not as many on the main roster. I can really say that about this year. It seems like for the first time in a long time, everyone is getting a consistent opportunity to show what they can. And if they don't, it's their fault, not the booker's fault. Adam?
Yeah, I honestly had a tie this year, but Morton just won me over, I think.
Okay.
He sold me on it. It's
I didn't sell
AEW
you
this
and
year.
Brett didn't sell you.
No, Morton had it. AEW was it this year. WWE put their foot on the gas a bit this year to give them a push, but I think AEW still, because the pay-per-views, every pay-per-view hit
Yep.
on AEW.
Hey, there's no
And that's
doubt. Senator break the tie or go TNA, I guess.
I'm going WWE,
NXT.
but I'm going WWE, but I want to give a shout out to Impact.
Yep.
Because for a company that consistently is supposed to die, whatever, may have had one of their best years in a very long time.
Absolutely.
Especially with one of their biggest signing Trinity. So like that
And Grizzly
helped
Gun
improve
Vets.
the women division. Yeah, they're about to go there now. Like, I just think that they are stocking up for 2024 to have a better year. But my choice is just the one that I watch the most, so it's WWE.
Back to you, Senator. What's your best television show?
Oh, hands down, NXT.
Yeah, that's your jam. You've been putting the foot on the gas for that one.
Hands down, NXT. It is the only place where you're going to get true comedic announcing. You're gonna have gimmicks that you may not totally understand what's gonna happen when they first come on TV, and then all of a sudden they become stars. It has the most unsafe parking lot in all of wrestling, right? Like
Yeah.
it is the show. So I'm going NXT.
Morton, where are you going?
I considered SmackDown. Didn't quite go with them. At the end of the day, I'm less of a promo guy and less of an angles guy. I'm a pure wrestling matches guy. And Collision gave me the best pure wrestling matches
Wow. Did not see
this year.
that coming.
So yeah, Collision is my pick. Dynamite is not this Dynamite. This is the worst year Dynamite's had. It's still a good show, but the worst year for Dynamite quality wise. But Collision has really been consistently excellent.
I did not see that pick coming. Maybe because I mean, for me, for Collision, I don't get a chance to watch it as much as I'd like to either. Adam?
Just live at the Saddle Dome.
Just live. Yeah, pretty much.
I agree with what Morton said. Dynamite probably had its worst year since its inception, but I still think it's Dynamite. It's just the one I watched the most, the one I enjoyed the most. It can't be Raw. It can't be SmackDown. It's Dynamite.
Brett, is it Raw or SmackDown?
I thought about both, but I think that Raw's still too long. And SmackDown, I don't know, the Bloodline storyline has lost so much of its steam. Jimmy coming back into the Bloodline, kind of the storylines there are just a little bit weird right now for me. And yeah, I really like NXT right now. Like, I love Chase U. I love Dragunov. I love just so much of what they're doing. And they're trying to come up with some innovative,
They are.
like, tournaments and match types. And then you've got the breakout tournament, and there's always new, fresh talent and good stuff happening.
And I just want to say one last thing to that. Becky going down there helped elevate it.
Oh, did it ever?
I wish it was longer.
Yeah.
If you would have asked, much like Brett said, if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you. For a good chunk, maybe the first half of the year was SmackDown. That Jey Uso trade made me care about Raw in a way. And it actually made the 3 hours go by faster than it had any right to do. I can't believe I'm saying the Raw was the most enjoyable show this year for me. Dynamite was up there, but after that Uso trade, Raw, just between having the Chad Gable stuff was interesting. Cody stuff is interesting. Nakamura stuff has been great. Everything with Drew has been great. The women's division has been sensational, and the buildup of everything there. There's just every little thing I care about what they're building up to on Raw. And there is shows still where the 3 hours still hits and is a little bit harder to watch. I mean, luckily for me, I just watch it side by side with football half the time. But I have found myself engaged with all the stories that Raw is building up. If you do want to go more of the pro wrestling side, I agree with Morton. It's probably Dynamite or Collision. I like a good mixture of story and wrestling for mine. So this one is kind of your kind of overall preference, I would say, for a show. So I can't believe it. I will go with
I think
Monday
if Raw
Raw.
wasn't like if Raw wasn't 3 hours, it would be all different for me. Definitely.
Yeah.
3 hours is just like can't commit to 3 hours every Monday. I can for football, but I can't for Raw.
I should put an asterisk. Raw via PVR. So there's an asterisk.
Be real, Josh. It's because Punk is there.
Yeah, I mean Punk helps, but this was before Punk came. And did you mention when I did my review, I didn't even mention Punk as part of the reason. Adam, you can go. Most underrated.
Most underrated. I was gonna say Christian here, but it seems everybody loved Christian this year too. So he's not really underrated. I'm gonna say Logan Paul. He was improved last year, but I loved everything. He didn't do a lot this year, but he's the champ and he's holding it well, and he had some good matches and he was involved in a lot. I like him in WWE, and he seems to be here to stay at least.
I'll give him credit because he takes the WWE stuff seriously, and he took that South Park spoof like a champ. Like he did. I don't know if you guys saw the South Park spoof
I didn't
of him.
see that.
He did a recreation of it already. Like he took it like a champ. Some people I've seen cry about being impersonated, Kanye, on South Park. But I thought Logan took it like a champ and wrote it the best way that he could. So and the fact that he commits to everything he does
in the cred special. The cred special. Okay, that's where you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
Where you going for most improved, Morton?
this is a chance to put a spotlight on somebody who you don't normally. I mean, is totally off the radar, and that's who mine is. But I think she's fantastic, and she's in AEW. You rarely see her. Occasionally, she might show up on Rampage or Collision. But Diamante is fantastic and a fantastic professional wrestler that you just, if she had a chance to go out there weekly and just have terrific matches, I think people would be really impressed with.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Brett, where are you going?
I am heading to the Impact Zone, and I picked Speedball Mike Bailey. I think he's just
Nice.
he's unbelievable. And I just went back earlier today and watched his match with Will Ospreay, and it's just he's unbelievable.
So good.
And he is on his way to going somewhere big, and I think he's going to be a huge star in a couple of years. But he's just so underrated and under the radar at TNA, and he's so good.
He is. Senator, where you going?
If somebody could get a hold of him and just increase it, it's just his look is a little bit off to be the biggest star that he can be. If somebody can help him with that, he can be massive.
Senator?
I'm going with Giovanni Vinci.
Oh, nice.
I think I think as a in-ring wrestler, he's really good, but this whole him not allowed to talk thing and him like losing by a lot of roll-ups or him taking all the pins in Imperium matches it doesn't showcase him the way how he was starting to showcase himself when he was on the solo run in NXT.
That's a good pick. I struggled with this one. You guys all gave good picks. I had Chad Gable at the start, but I think Chad kind of got his flowers this year, so I don't really think he's underrated anymore. He's finally kind of getting the flowers that he deserves. Man, just trying to rethink this one all now on the spot. There's someone in NXT I'm trying to think about that now. Jeez, forgetting now. I'll come back to my pick in a bit. So I'm skipping and coming back. Right now, though, we'll go to Adam and Best Faction.
Best Faction. This one seemed pretty easy for me, and I'm gonna choose Judgment Day was the best faction. Dom stepped it up, everybody stepped it up, everybody's holding gold right now. Rhea is Judgment Day. If I'm being truthful. And then Dom is a great queen of Judgment Day. Rhea's the king. And then you've got tag team champs and a Money in the Bank holder. So they were amazing this year to watch. And our truth maybe going into 2024. So bonus.
I remember who mine is now. It's Athena, because she doesn't get used the way that she should. She's kind of just, and you know, I talked about Morten. They had a good show, but she's just kind of stuck in ROH right now. And this AEW women's division desperately needs an infusion of something. And Athena, with the feud with Billy Starks, has been so good. Just overall, she has made that ROH women's title probably the most important title in the company. I dare to say that women's title means the most in the company right now. So I'm going to go with Athena. And yes, Adam, you're right with Judgment Day. Brett, for you for Best Faction.
Yeah, Judgment Day, 100%. Pretty much everything that Adam said. It's just they have been so good and consistent, and they were carrying Raw for quite a little bit there. And yeah, having them kind of lose the tag team titles and then get them back kind of took a little bit of momentum away from them. But yeah, they're just at the center of everything right now, and they're really what has been making Raw been working lately.
Just wait till they get our truth in the group.
They permeate all storylines too, which is great. They're just like on the whole show. Like they're on.
There's literally a meme where people get interrupted by the Judgment Day theme song. Morten?
Yeah, this might be a clean sweep because I mean, the whole point of a faction is to take people that are sort of stars or you know, stars or sort of stars kind of on that level and make them bigger. Every single member of Judgment Day is a bigger star today than they were 2 years ago. To me, that is a tremendous success.
Senator, are you going to do it? Are you going to finally give us our first sweep?
I'm going Judgment Day because
got our first sweep. We did it.
Not just because you guys just mentioned Raw, but you got to think about Dominic Mysterio's work in in NXT. You got to think about when they needed to pop ratings, how they would move Judgment Day over to SmackDown to do stuff. But I am also going to give a shout out, because this was my 1B, to Metaphor. I think Metaphor in NXT,
All right.
to me, has been one of the most entertaining factions since once they got created. And then if you look at the
Save Lash Legend. She was
Iron
terrible.
Survivor, that you saw Lash Legend improvement, because now she gets to work along with a coach all the time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my backup, but it's 1B. I mean, Judgment Day for sure.
Best wrestling theme song. I'll start with this one. It's Bad Bunny, Chambea. It only got played once, but the downloads of that jumped up, and just the way the whole crowd reacted that day to Bad Bunny, just unbelievable. Just how it just kind of took over the day. So I'm going with Bad Bunny, Chambea. Brett.
I mean, that's fantastic. And I love Bad Bunny, but I couldn't pick it just because it was only once. So I'm going with Swerve. Every time I hear Swerve's theme song, I love it. It's so good, and it just, again, adding Prince Nana to it, just giving it that extra little something, and it's just been. I hear it and I get excited.
Senator.
I was gonna go Swerve, but no, it has to be Trick Williams for me. Trick Williams.
These are all great picks.
Yep.
Morton, where are you going?
Saturday.
Shut
Saturday.
That's worst.
Night's all right for fighting and stuff.
Oh God. Adam.
That's your favorite. Okay. We're just ending on that. I almost picked this last year, but I didn't, and I'm gonna pick it this year. But it's Hook's Action Bronson theme, Chairman's Intent. I just love that song.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bronson, and it pairs well with Hook. Yeah, I love it.
Best baby face, Adam.
Best baby face. This one, I struggled to find someone. I don't feel like there's very many good baby faces right now. The heels are killing it for me.
Well,
so
the best
I went
baby
with,
face is on autopilot. That's the problem.
Yeah. So best babyface for me was someone who you just wanted, someone who you naturally got behind, and that was Willow Nightingale this year.
Oh, that's a nice one.
I love Willow. It's a good one.
She just like everybody was behind her on everything she was doing and wanted her to like achieve something in AEW. They kind of botched it, I think, with like what they could have done with her, but
she only won a belt because Monet got hurt.
Yeah, in NJPW. But then they could have snowballed that into something, and they really
never did. Brett.
So this was between two, and I think it was going to be Orange Cassidy, but in the last 2 hours, it changed to Eddie Kingston, because that match tonight against Bryan Danielson was so good, and just the way that crowd popped and the emotion that came out of him and just everybody after he won that tonight. I'm like, I literally brought up my notes app and I took out Orange Cassidy and put in Eddie's name, because it's just, he's had such a good year.
I have that pick. Morton.
I considered Orange Cassidy. I considered Shooter Umino from New Japan. Considered Sami Zayn. And tonight, Eddie Kingston nearly won it up, pulled it away from me the same way. Almost did it, because tonight you don't get heat like that very often in that Danielson and Kingston match, and he's just so over. Such an everyman. But there's another guy who's an everyman and an underdog that people just can't help but love, and for tragic reasons. But that's partially. But that is Mark Briscoe. I think Mark Briscoe is the best babyface right now on the planet.
It's kind of hard to pick against that now. Morton thinks.
Yep.
Senator, follow that.
That was a great thing. I think Mark Briscoe is a great choice.
Yeah.
And anytime a tragedy happens, then the person that is the closest, as long as they're not like exploiting them, and I don't think AEW is exploiting him, which is a good thing. My choice is Jey Uso.
Nice. Yeet.
I think you always used to see like the crowd would come out and they will kind of just chant when it's like that ooh so part, whatever, right? But like now when you see him come out and the entrances and everybody has their hands in the air going up and down with him, and like you can actually zoom out to see the impact that's having and the crowd actually going with him. I chose it because I didn't think his solo career would be anything at all, but he's Survivor Series was the one that kind of illuminated it for me because it was him solo in there and the crowd was really with him. So yeah, Jey Uso.
You guys named a lot of baby faces I considered. Mine came down to two. Sami Zayn was 1B. 1A was Trick Williams. The way that crowd at NXT is engaged with him, the pop he got at NXT Deadline to where he is with that Dragunov match that happens at New Year's Evil. If he wins that title, the crowd is going to be. I mean, how can you not just set up for Trick versus Carmelo for the championship right now? Like that seems to be the one. Booker played a big part of that too with the entrance. The entrance is over. So I'm going with Trick Williams. Next up is heel. I'll just go really quick on this one. I'm picking Dom because there is not many people that I've seen get heel heat like him, maybe since Vicky Guerrero, when he just gets in the mic and the whole crowd just absolutely has disdain and hates this man all the way from his great entrance at WrestleMania this year because he spent a hard time in jail. So I'm going to go with Dom. Brett?
Yeah, it's between him, but I picked Christian Cage.
Cages. These are the two I think.
On the mic. It's just been unbelievable.
Morton?
Christian for the third time for me. The third time I've picked him. He's just had an incredible year. Dom, they do pipe in. I've heard they do pipe in some booze and some noise for him to try and get the same type of heat Christian is getting naturally.
Senator?
I'm going Swerve.
Ooh.
I'm going Swerve.
But people love him now.
Yeah.
Last 2 months, people love him.
It's true, but he's still technically a heel. But if we're not gonna go off of there, I'll give you my 1B. My 1B of somebody that we don't want to see anymore because we have no idea what his character is. Joe Gacy.
That's a good pick.
That's really good.
Yeah, what the hell is he? What is The Rock's daughter?
She is part GM, I guess now. I have no clue. Like,
yeah.
Making matches. So
weird. Adam?
Yeah, I'll tie it back up as Dom for me for all the things I said before. But Cage was super close second.
Best catchphrase. Yeet. It's mine. Brett?
I have one written down, but I'm gonna change it because it makes me laugh every single. It was about to be, yeah, but instead I'm gonna go with Adam. Roddy Strong. Every time I hear Roddy Strong, just scream Adam's name. Or now it's been Samoa or Renee. It's just become such a gimmick. I love it.
Morton?
I just have to say, on Collision this last week, he did a new thing where he comes to the ring and says, "Hey, Hugh, what's your name?" And the guy in the audience goes, "Kevin." He goes, "Kevin, do you think MJF is the devil?" And he goes, "No." "Well, then you're stupid." He did it like 3 times to 3 people. Got over Hugh. It was awesome. Anyways, I got he didn't say it for very long, but I loved it. Name is Orange Cassidy, and I don't have a catchphrase.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Senator?
I gotta give this guy some shine. So Mello don't miss. I think it's a simple one, but effective.
And Adam?
Since I can't do shush 2 years in a row, because that was excellent last year.
You can, because Maxine
No.
does it now. Maxine does it now.
I can't do it. It's chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Yes.
That's a very good one. Adam, I'll come back to you. Breakout star next year.
I know you think this should be like the best female of the year, but it's gonna be Jade Cargill. for breakout star of the year.
There
Even though
it is, Adam's
she's had her
girl.
breakout, she's already the biggest star in from AEW, but now she's got a chance to go and skyrocket in WWE, so she's gonna kill it this year.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's part of the. Well, that's like for me. My pick was
Mhm.
Swerve. Like I look at it as you are on the precipice to be a super duper star, and so Jade would agree with you. Has the chance to become a super duper star, and that's where I look at Swerve right now. I don't like the decision that happened tonight personally because I think John Moxley really needs that shit. Swerve needs that. You have a chance with Swerve right now. He has a chance to be a super duper star, and he's got
the
great
Keith Lee match,
crossover
though.
appeal. Sorry.
You get the Keith Lee match though. I mean, that's just as big. The crowd popped
Oh
like
yeah,
crazy when that was announced.
yeah. I didn't see that, but
It happened.
he has a chance to be the biggest, like maybe the biggest crossover star in this company because apparently MJF got cropped the fuck out of Iron Claw, so I'm going with
No,
Swerve.
he's in it.
Right? Very
He's in Iron
minimally.
Claw. He's in Iron
Yeah.
Claw. He's there.
Is he as good as the Ric Flair?
He's there. You see him. That's it.
But
That's
before
all
we
you
go,
can say.
Brad and Morton and Center, have you guys seen what this Ric Flair guy is for Iron Claw?
No.
No.
It's so bad.
Don't
It's
just watch the
so-
movie and we can
Yeah.
talk about it after.
It's
Just
so
see the
bad.
movie. You got to see it in context.
Brett, who are you going for?
Okay, well, I got two. I'm gonna just rip them off quickly. Lexus King, he's gonna have a big year in NXT,
Yeah.
and also Thea Hale. I think once Chase U inevitably
Ooh, I like that
falls
one.
apart, I think Thea Hale is gonna become like the
I like
scrappy
Thea Hale.
underdog baby face, and she's gonna be a champion in NXT or maybe even on the main roster.
I really like that pick.
How old is she again? 19, 20?
20.
19, yeah.
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 Yeah, I like
She
all
just
the development they've had with her. Yeah. Senator?
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna choose two. I am choosing Lola Vice, and I'm also choosing Tiffany Stratton on the main roster.
There you go. That's a good one. Morton?
Okay, so we haven't done a lot of New Japan, hasn't been getting a
Mm.
lot of attention from us on this podcast lately. There's a guy there that probably has the most charisma since Nakamura. And they're kind of doing this thing where they have all the recently graduated young lions fighting to see who's going to be the guy who's the next guy. And it should be Yota Tsuji. And so Yota Tsuji is my pick. This is a guy you comes along rarely, put the rock on him, strap it on him, let him take off.
Does he have a, excuse my arrogance, does he have a Wrestle Kingdom match?
I off the top of my head, I can't remember where on the card he is. I think he's in a multi-man, if I
Nice.
remember correctly.
The classic multi-man.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many matches. I mean, it's a 5 hour event. You
Yeah.
know, so many matches. So I can't remember who he's facing, but he is on the show.
Morton, you get to go right back. Shocker of the year.
Adam Copeland showed up in AEW after looking like he would net 1 year ago. If you had said to me, Edge is gonna wrestle someplace other than
Yeah.
WWE, like I would have looked at you like you were nuts. But it happened. So
A good
that was a
pick.
shocker.
Senator?
Punk's return.
Yeah, that's mine
It
too.
was rumored. You just never actually really want to you didn't actually believe it was gonna happen. And so
Brett?
Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns.
Ooh, I like that one. That was a shocker. And Adam?
I went a different direction with this one. Shocker was Bray Wyatt.
Oh,
mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the biggest shock of the year for me and the saddest thing. Just like a huge surprise out of nowhere that just devastated a lot.
Yeah, I was on a radio call. My phone was going absolutely berserk. I was like, "What is going on?" You died. It's like, "Who died?" I'm like, "Oh shit! Okay, this sucks." Rookie of the year. I'll start off with this one. I'm going with Lola Vice.
What was your shocker? Did you do
Oh,
one?
my shocker. Yeah, Punk. Punk coming back to WWE.
Not, yeah. Downplay it. Not that shocking. Yeah, that's
I'm trying to move the show along. Yeah, Yeah, I'm gonna go Lola Vice for Rookie of the Year. Brett.
Me too.
Yeah. Senator, you going the same way?
I'm going Kalani Jordan.
Ooh, I like that one.
That was my other choice.
Lonnie was good. Very good. They're in good hands with two talented women there. I wasn't sure. I wanted to pick Santino's daughter, but I couldn't. I think she did some stuff last year, so I couldn't do it. But I love Santino's daughter. Morton?
He's been wrestling for a while, but by our rules, he only got in the national spotlight this year, and that's
No, the
Nick
rule
Wayne.
is no, because I said beforehand, you have to wrestle this year. This has to be your first year in wrestling.
Oh, I thought you said her first year on TV.
No, wrestling.
But then Lola Vice.
Okay. Adam?
I got a different
Adam!
one because I don't watch NXT. Maxine Dupree is my Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, she wrestled for the first time this year. I'll allow it.
Yep. She's been around for a bit, but she wrestled for the first time this year. And she's just anytime she's more of a better personality than a wrestler, obviously. But her personality is great.
She impressed
Her
the
ballet is great. She can wrestle too, but her personality and her charisma is what gets her over for sure. She's great.
Absolutely. I mean, she impressed the hell out of me though in the ring. She was great. Senator, Booker of the Year.
Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
HBK.
If you watch NXT, I think he might be probably the most consistent booker from January to December. And the PLEs have felt like PLEs when they started going back doing them. So,
Morton?
Yeah,
that was my pick too. I have Shawn Michaels as Booker of the Year. I think he's earned it.
Definitely has. Brett?
I mean, it's a close one. I'll go with his best frenemy. I'll go with Triple H.
That's my pick as well. I'm going with Hunter as well. And I think you and I kind of agree just the way that he's made so many things. Sean has too, but just the way they both have gone. Adam, you going to have a tiebreaker or go somewhere else?
Yeah, tiebreaker. I'm gonna pick Triple H, but I also have him as worst Booker of the Year. So
I love these both. I love these doubles.
We got a mix. I'll explain why later.
Yeah. Okay. Moment of the year. Again, I absolutely was obsessed with this. Bad Bunny's entrance. It's it's the clip you just keep on kind of coming back to, and you still can't believe it when you see it, and just how you engage an entire country with statistically the biggest pop star in the world. I know people think it's Taylor, but statistically by album sales and everything, all the matrix of downloads and everything like that, it is still technically Bad Bunny. So I'm going Bad Bunny's entrance. Brett?
Sami Zayn's entrance in Montreal.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Morton?
In front of 70 to 80,000 people. I mean, that long match, go to a draw, Broadway, and MJF saying, we're not doing 5 more minutes. We're doing as long as we need in fucking Wembley Stadium, and the pop. To me, that was a great moment.
That was very good. Senator?
I have the Bad Bunny entrance, but I also want to give a shout out to the formation of the tag team, the hug, when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn finally hugged in the ring.
That's a good one too. It's a very good one too. And Adam? Adam?
You can do that every time.
Yeah.
My moment was on Botchamanias where I saw it, and it was Will Ospreay showing off his tattoo of the wrong attendance numbers at Wembley Stadium. Was the greatest moment of the year. That was
amazing.
fantastic.
That's one of the best picks we've had in the history of this. That is phenomenal.
It was so
good.
That
is phenomenal. And because of that, Adam, you get to go next for match of the year.
I get to go next. It's I think it was the second match. The Page Swerve. What was it? The no holds barred Texas rattlesnake death match, whatever it was. That match just blew me away.
Yeah.
Second one? That was the second match in their feud?
Yeah, it was the second one.
Yeah.
Brett.
Last
And
night's
a big surprise that they let Swerve win. I thought it was going to go to a third
Oh, yeah.
match. But I'm that kind of made me believe they were going to like give a bit of a boost to Swerve, and they have, but not as much as I'd hoped. But that match was amazing. That match just was like everything this year. It was wild.
Brett, where you going?
That's close. That's my number two, but well, I guess number three. But Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega from Wrestle Kingdom, and then their second one is my number two. So those two just stole the show for me this year.
Morton.
Yeah, I got Osprey versus Omega One from Wrestle Kingdom as well. I think we had talked about it at the time, and we were like, not match of the year, match of the decade, and it's going to be tough to beat.
Senator.
Y'all gave that match a lot of love. That was the one that I had written down. So I'm going to go a different way. And I'm going to go with the Trish Becky cage match.
Someone gave that some love.
And that's going to be my own.
Man, I struggle with this. I went back and forth with this one. Will and Kenny was phenomenal, but that Swerve and Page Matt really sat with me, and I went back and forth and back and forth. But at the end of the day, what Will and Kenny did, I don't know, that was just phenomenal. I mean, and knowing what Kenny's health is and knowing the craziness that Will does, I don't even know if we'll get a chance to see them in the ring ever again together. Who knows, like at the same time. So I will go with Will and Kenny, but man, that was I did not think anything was going to come close to taking out that for me, and that Swerve and Page match came razor sharp close to it. Next up, best tag team, Morton.
FTR.
Yeah, that's mine too.
You know, I mean, I wish I could be more original, but they'd have earned it again. For most of the year, they were tag champions, and you just look at the quality of the matches. I mean, just crazy good.
Senator.
Creed Brothers.
Creed Brothers. I like that one.
Nice. I just think there's a lot of matches that they've had, especially the one with what were they called in? We know them as Grizzled Young Vets, but what were they called again?
The Dynamite?
The Dyad, right?
Yeah.
And I just like that match, and I like what the push that they're getting on Raw right now. So,
Adam.
I'm gonna go with Cole and MJF. I just love them together. I don't. Maybe the matches weren't there compared to all the other ones you guys picked, but like they were just so much fun to watch. I just loved it.
And Brett, who you got?
Yeah, FTR. Just their body of work this year was just ridiculous.
And we'll swing it back to you, Brett. You get the honor of picking the female wrestler of the year first.
It's hard not to pick Rhea Ripley because she has so much momentum, but I feel like in these last few months, she just hasn't really defended the title much. She hasn't really defended it against strong opponents. And Io Sky just had such a solid year.
Ooh.
And she really kind of came out of, again, she kind of like Trick came out of the shadow of Bayley and just ended up winning Money in the Bank and just had a really solid year. And she had that spot in War Games that I loved. And yeah, she's my pick.
Senator.
I'm gonna go with Becky for helping elevate the NXT championship, the storyline that they're building up. She's actually kind of makes what's her name? Nia Jax seem somewhat relevant right now.
Care about that feud for some reason.
And then my 1B was Julia.
Nice. Morton.
I really believe Athena has had the best in-ring year of anybody.
Probably,
she headlined 2 ROH pay-per-views, and people talk about her work on the ROH TV Weekly as being terrific. And her match with Willow Nightingale is one of the best matches of the year. But unfortunately, she did it in a vacuum. Whereas Becky Lynch also had a great in-ring year and did it and feels like a bigger star this year to me than she did 1 year ago. So I'm going with Becky, razor thin over Athena.
Before I get to add, I want Becky too. The way that she propelled NXT, the match with Tiff was great. The match with Trish was great. She really seemed to have a great second half of the year. And Amenia, she had a good match as well with Bianca. Becky just took her game to another level this year. It kind of seems like she's poised to have a feud with Rhea coming up here. Adam? Now,
You're all
Jade only
wrong except
wrestled
Brett
once.
at the beginning. No, she
Jade
had a
only
bunch of
wrestled
matches.
once. You can't pick Jade.
No, she had a bunch of matches. I'm sure she had more. But anyways, I'm not going to pick Jade. It's Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley had the best year. Brett was close with it. It even though her matches maybe floundered a little bit towards the end of the year here, anytime she's on TV, she's electric and she's everywhere too. She was in the Punk debut. She was involved in everything this year. Like she was just there. So she was great anytime she's on TV.
Adam, you get to lead off with the best male wrestler.
Um, yeah, this is a really hard one for sure. But I'm gonna go with Gunther this year.
Wow. Yeah,
Gunther had the most
one of the
consistent
guys.
year, and I think everybody's gonna be fine with that pick. And I think he was great this year. Everything he did.
I think there's like three guys. So and that was one of the three guys. Senator?
Yeah, to me it was a ring general, just because he he wasn't even on a bunch of PLEs, but he made the Raw after the PLEs feel as big as the PLEs. So yeah, give me Gunther.
Morton?
For me, it's Will Ospreay, and it's the best year probably since AJ all those years ago won it just in an unanimous sweep when we were doing the awards here. What was that, like 2016, I think?
Yeah.
Something like that. Best year since then. Match with the Speedball, two with Omega, two best matches of the G1. He had a match with somebody from Noah. I can't remember the name, but it's free on YouTube. It's like 31 minutes. It's
Beat Okada
incredible.
finally.
Yeah, yeah. Just nobody. He's been on the cusp, like two or three in the world for me for like 5 years. Finally, he's broken through and proven to be the best guy there is.
I mean, we talked. Ospreay's my pick too. Before we get to Brett, Ospreay's my pick too. We talked about it in our free agency picks. MJF wasn't the free agent; it was Ospreay. Like whoever landed Ospreay was the big winner because he is the undeniable. He's the best wrestler in the world, and there's a gap. All respect to Gunther's and Seth Rollins and all the other. There's a gap. He is, to me, he might even be the best combat athlete there is right now. All respect to guys in UFC and to boxing. Will Ospreay gets in a match and it's big time. It matters who he faces. Even the Jericho match was good. And it's funny that we had Jericho as our wrestler of the year last year. Now we're both.
I just want you to slow it down. I just want you to slow it down. Don't say he's the best combat wrestler, combat fighter. Just keep it within wrestling.
I had him as my best combat sport athlete this year, and he is. He's within wrestling. In wrestling though, there's no 1B. To me, it's Will Ospreay. It's everybody else. Brett.
Yeah, the level is massive. The drop off to him.
Yeah, it's Will Ospreay. Like I love Gunther so much. He's my favorite wrestler, but I think right now there's just no denying Will Ospreay is the best in the world for everything that you guys said. And also his match versus Zack Sabre Jr. was also incredible. Just to throw in another person he had an amazing match with this last year.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Biggest story of the year, Morton.
Honestly, it's probably the Endeavor WWE combination.
That's what I did. I did TKO.
It is the biggest, but it didn't mean the most to me.
No.
The story that hit me the most and is the most dramatic to me was the people we lost this year, specifically Jay Briscoe and Bray Wyatt, but even the others that we lost, some legends like Terry Funk and superstar Billy Graham. Just some. That to me hit me hardest and is, I'll remember that and care more about that than I will about Endeavor and WWE.
I'm going to co-sign your pick. Senator?
Yep, me too.
Okay, Brett's going to go with that one too.
Yeah, I co-sign both of those because I think the Bray Wyatt hit me the most.
Yeah.
The TKO founding was the biggest one. But I also want to put just the thing of the possibility of WWE like Raw ending up on Warner Brothers. I think that has kind of changed all the stuff because that kind of changes. It could potentially change how like the TV stuff is, but to me, the biggest thing is the TKO and the Bray Wyatt.
Adam?
That
won't
may be
matter
the biggest
because
story next year.
Yeah.
Next year. Yeah.
Warner Brothers will just merge with USA and it'll just go back to USA. So it doesn't matter. They'll just merge with everyone.
Wasn't there
My
talk that
biggest
they're
story of the
merged?
year.
Wasn't there talk that Warner Brothers Discovery merging with
Paramount?
no, yeah, Paramount, yeah,
Yeah.
CBS.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. They
Yeah.
just merge with everyone.
Yeah.
I don't care as long as I get more content in my streaming.
More content.
More
We're actually going to be
content.
getting less because of the strike. So,
Yeah.
Adam?
The biggest story of the year was just Punk overall.
This is true.
There were so many
Yep.
Punk things this year, like from the second fight to the firing to the comeback to like all this stuff. It was just this was everybody talking about Punk all year, every month.
Absolutely. Well, there's the best of. Now we come to my favorite part, the worst of. Now we get to be assholes. I love it. Adam, who's the worst on the mic?
Worst on the mic, only because I'm not going to pick her for worst female wrestler but I wanted to, but it's Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
It always has been, and it always will be.
Terrible.
I
Terrible.
now
co-sign
forever.
that. I co-sign
Yeah,
that.
it's Ronda Rousey, absolutely.
I actually chose
remember
somebody
when she went to
completely
Ring of
different.
Honor and everyone's like, cool. I don't give a shit.
Worst on the mic for me was Shotzi.
Oh,
When you had her in the ring with those
you're not
three other
wrong, but
women, that was no, I couldn't.
I feel like the Stephen A. Smith thing
Yeah.
there was like, we're not wrong, but be nice.
I for the second year in a row have to go with Ivy Nile. She's just in the ring performing. She's got something, but her lack of charisma and delivery when she's doing a promo is it's the worst I've seen in years.
It's the definition of just reading the script and just going
Yes.
right off. Yeah.
Not bad. Let's see who hasn't gone yet. We need so Adam. You went. I mean, no, Brett. Who do you have for worst
On the mic?
on the mic?
Oh yeah, Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah, you picked Ronda as well.
Yeah.
Did I do everyone? Morton, did I do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did everyone but yourself, I think.
Oh, I'm picking Ronda as well.
I said Ronda.
Morton, most underutilized performer.
Keith Lee. Come on.
Oh,
I mean, they're finally giving him a little.
I co-sign that as well.
I mean, they're finally giving him a little bit here with Swerve and finally pulling the trigger on this. For most of the years, like he's been invisible. And this guy's awesome. Crowd loves
Yes,
him.
he is.
They don't get it.
Adam,
That's a really good pick. Why didn't I pick it?
I love that.
I'm not changing mine. I'm not changing mine. Mine is CJ Perry. Need more CJ Perry. She came back and it didn't really do anything.
You don't like
She's
her
kind of
being
been around.
another cuck angle?
But now she's kind of doing the Andrade stuff. So finally they're giving her something. But maybe it's because of her schedule and stuff and other things. But like I think they could have used her more.
Sounds
more
When you say
Lana
you
on
want
TV.
more CJ Perry, what I don't want is her wearing more clothes. She wears almost nothing, and that's okay with me.
Yeah, I never said that. I didn't say more clothes. I said more
No.
CJ Perry.
Exactly.
Brett, please.
Well, I mean, shout out to Britt Baker as my 1B, but Willow Nightingale,
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
Willow should be like the top, if not one of the top stars in AEW's women's division, and I think that the fact Willow's not is a travesty. I think she should be.
A great pick.
I thought when she won the Owen, I thought she was going to take off. I thought they were going to
Me too.
just do something with her, and they didn't.
I'll keep mine kind of simple. I chose Hook. I
yeah,
think
it's a good one.
I think by now that they were going to use him a lot more, and it's sporadically.
Mine was Rio. I liked the Keith Lee one, but then I remembered Keith Rio. Every once in a while, there's like, hey, yeah, we have Rio. Here's a run-in. Remember? She exists. And then she just disappears.
She's awesome too.
Yeah.
It's what you talked about. Nobody has a gimmick. It's just like she just Rio and she just comes, and it's like, okay,
she's
you
small.
can have a good match, but give me something.
She's the cute schoolgirl kind of, like sort of. That's her gimmick, but
Yeah, it's not enough. It's not Maki Ito. It's not enough.
not much behind it. No.
Brett, who had the worst gimmick?
Well, she went from the worst gimmick to the best gimmick, and it's the entire Outcasts. I did not enjoy the Outcast storyline at all.
That's a good
I
pick.
thought it was a bad gimmick, just trying to play off the NWO with the spray paint, and just it was just not going anywhere, and it was just an excuse to get these 6-person tag matches because they weren't doing anything with the women's division.
That's a good pick. Adam?
Mine is Uncle Howdy.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're never going to find out what that was. Maybe it was going to be the best gimmick ever, but where it sits now, it was terrible. It did nothing.
Wasn't good.
I don't think it was going to be something good in the end. I don't think they had a good plan for it. I think it just was.
Morton?
Oh, no, I already picked, didn't I?
No.
No?
Worst gimmick.
Oh, Julia Hart. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Julia Hart's gimmick. Again, if a good gimmick is your real personality turned up to 10, I don't buy this dark witch Julia Hart gimmick.
I can agree with that.
I knew that was going to be his pick. We shouldn't even ask.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. My own is Eddie Thorne being upset that Dijak was whipping the tree. That led to a match. Okay, so I told you that NXT universe.
That's a great one.
You never know what you're gonna get.
That's a great one. Man, I don't even know if I can top that. Mine's also Julia Hart. I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. Worst non-wrestler. Oh, I've been waiting for this one. This is my favorite pick of the year. My worst non-wrestler is Tony Khan.
It's a good one.
Because everything he does, whenever he's on Twitter or on screen, is so annoying. I got to go to 2 live shows for him, and he's just the most annoying person. Like, we're in Calgary, and it's great, and it's stampede, and it's going to be a good show, and then we got Ring of Honor, so you need to stay for Ring of Honor, and it's going to be really good, and we love Calgary, it's a stampede, and we got the Old Heart Classic, and it's going to be good. All right, everyone, have a good time. Bye. Calm down, Tony.
It's an incredibly dead-on impression.
I mean, the clip that's going around right now, too, is when he gave the belt to Giannis, and he's like, oh. And then just all the stuff when they had the NXT feud on social was just, we did a whole pod on it. It was just so embarrassing. Like, just being the sorest loser of the stuff, and like, oh, Cena and Undertaker haven't been in a show under $1 million. It was like, dude, come on. Like, people like your show. You have a good show. Just take the L and move on. It's not that big of a deal. But he's one of the most, and then, I'm sorry, my life was in danger is the most embarrassing line I've ever heard anyone say in my entire life. I laughed out loud when I heard that line.
He legitimately felt that way. I mean,
maybe he did, but that was the most embarrassing line I've ever heard in my life. Like, come on, man. That shit was embarrassing. So it's Tony Khan.
Sounds like victim blaming.
Adam?
Mine was so close to being an actual wrestler this year. But they are non-wrestler, and it was Shane McMahon. Came back, almost had a match, this close to having a match, and got injured, and then had to get carted out. And nobody asked for him to show up at all, anyways. So it's Shane McMahon, non-wrestler of the year.
I forgot that was best moment of the year. I want to go back and change my pick. Best moment of the year was when he suffered that injury.
Senator?
Man, all right. I had one written down, and then when Josh was talking, I changed my answer. So I'll tell you what I had written down. It was Nick Wayne's mom. Um,
It's a good pick.
but what I
Damn.
changed it to is Rick Knox. I hate Rick Knox when he's refereeing. It is.
That's good.
It might be like I've never seen so many people get away with stuff that should be a disqualification right in front of a referee's face. That's never called. So
That's a great
Rick
pick.
Knox is my non-wrestler of the year. Worst
Love it.
non-wrestler of the year.
I love it. Morton.
So I seriously considered worst non-wrestler of the year to be Roman Reigns. I thought about it. Unfortunately, barely he's had a match. So it is Shayna Wayne. She's seriously terrible.
Nick Wayne's mom.
Nick Wayne's mom, Mama Wayne, Shayna Wayne, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah, she's bad.
The fact how
Are we
good
gonna
is
have
Christian?
next?
And he can make it work with that and still make it work. That's how good Christian is.
Brett, where are you going?
I kind of feel bad about this answer because he's decent enough at what he does, but any wrestler who has been paired with Stokely Hathaway has immediately had any momentum they have
That's
killed.
very true.
He is the manager where your careers go to die in AEW.
Well, worst feud of the year, Brett.
Worst feud of the year. You're gonna start seeing this promotion a little bit more from me. Tyrus versus EC3 from
Let's
NWA.
do it, baby. It's time.
You're gonna see a lot of NWA in my worst.
Oh, yes, we are. Yep, it was really, really bad. And Tyrus, I'm sure, will be coming up a lot soon. Morton?
We waited years, anticipated for this feud. Finally, we got Shayna versus Ronda. And it was rushed. And then it had that match, which we'll get to again later. That's my worst feud of the year.
It was bad. It was really bad. Senator.
Oh man, you guys are doing some great ones. I'm gonna tell you what I had written down and what I changed it to. So what I have written down is Carlito versus Santos Escobar because
What feud?
because what happened there?
What feud? My first time on a PLE forever. Yeah. Nope.
But I changed it to Dijak versus Eddie Thorne because it all started because of whipping a tree. Okay.
Man, you got something against Eddie Thorne.
No, I have something against this tree being whipped is the reason why. This is why there's a huge feud.
Adam?
It is one of the worst reasons for a feud to have started I can ever think of. It's up there.
Because this is the player haters ball and we get to hate on anything.
Hate.
It's Jay versus Roman.
Yeah.
I hated that feud because
the ending was
everyone's
stupid.
like, oh, is Jay gonna be the guy to dethrone Roman? And it's like, no, in no world is Jay Uso gonna dethrone Roman. Why even have this feud? Why even get to this point? It was terrible. It was awful. I didn't want to see it. I hated every moment of it.
Good picks. My worst feud is Tony Khan versus his phone and a camera. Because every time he comes on it, he looks like a jackass.
That's a great feud right there. Not gonna lie.
Next up, worst angle, Brett.
Worst angle was the MJF versus Jay White match where all of a sudden he gets taken out. Then they're like, yeah, you're not cleared to wrestle, but Adam Cole, he can wrestle. And then they're like willing to let the bell ring and they're trying to stop MJF from coming down the ramp, even though Adam's in the center of the ring on a crutch. Like none of that made any sense. It was the stupidest thing.
That's a great pick. Morton?
Terrific pick.
Morton?
Your pick. Sorry. Yeah, so I had the obvious James Mitchell doing cocaine on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, as one does.
Like I say, the part that really gets me isn't that he was doing cocaine on the pay-per-view. He probably, you put a camera on James Mitchell, it's probably a 50-50 chance at any point in time that he is doing cocaine. it was the announcers going, boy, that's a party I'd like to be in, that made me go, oh, you guys are so. The announcers were like, I'd love to be doing that too. Oh, so bad.
That was so bad. I might have to come back to that one in a bit. Adam.
My worst angle this year is everything having to do with the inaugural World Heavyweight WWE title, the tournament, the winners of the tournament being AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, boringest picks ever to like elevate somebody, and having this title, and then crowning the winner in a Saudi show. Everything about that whole thing was just awful.
That was really bad. Yeah. Who do we got? Senator.
I don't know if this is considered an angle, but because I couldn't include this in my feud, I'm going to include this in my angle of the year, and it is Tony Khan versus special announcements on live TV. It is. There is only so much special announcements that we can get that don't deliver. So that's my angle of the year.
Worst angle of
Tony Khan versus special announcements.
Man, I really wish I could
Just
go
wait,
sign
one's
him.
coming. They've said there's a new belt coming to ROH, so another one is going to happen.
My
Can't
worst
wait.
angle of the year, and rack your brains to remember this one. I'm digging deep. QTV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This shit was so bad. It derailed Will Hobbs. I don't even. Is John Morrison? He's in ROH now, I think.
He's in ROH. Johnny TV. Yeah.
You had the terrible Haley Cameron against the Acclaim rap feud when she was like kind of spitting, but I think it had to be another rapper. But it was like, actually, she's not actually bad. And I was like, oh, Haley Cameron actually seems okay. And they had something going with her in the Acclaimed. But this whole QTV thing was so bad. It derailed Will Hobbs. It didn't do anything for anybody. It was atrocious.
Well, at least QT Marshall's gone.
Yes, it is. Brett.
That's the silver lining.
Worst pay-per-view.
I mean, it was such a good year for pay-per-views. Like, so many of them delivered. If I was going to go with a major network, I would probably say Crown Jewel, and like that wasn't even that bad of a show.
No.
But I mean, NWA's 75th anniversary show it's horrendous.
Yeah. You do NWA 75th?
Yeah.
I like it. Senator.
Yeah, there was a lot of good pay-per-views. For me, I didn't watch a lot of them outside of WWE, like NXT or AEW, unfortunately. It's just I didn't have the time to do it. So I had to choose which one was the worst out of those three for me. So I'm gonna choose Fastlane.
Yeah, it was
I
kind of
think
boring.
kind of the only real thing that anyone really got from that was the post interview after the post press conference when Jey Uso was really drunk and Cody was there. That kind of overshadowed the entire pay-per-view, to tell you the truth. So I'm gonna go with that as kind of like my worst one for the year.
Okay. Morton, where are you going?
Well, when you have Roman Reigns versus LA Knight in a main event, you've lost me. And so that Crown Jewel show is Saudi show. That's my pick.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's good.
Adam, where are you going?
Yeah, it's always the same pay-per-view for me every single year, but now we get two because they did two Saudi shows this year. I mean, it has nothing to do with the quality of wrestling or whatever. It's obviously Crown Jewel if we have to pick one, but Night of Champions and Crown Jewel, two shows.
And hey, the Hall of Fame is, or whatever is going to be there now.
Oh
The
God.
physical Hall of Fame. That's so sad.
I'm going to go with Brett and pick the NWA 75. It was absolute dog shit. Speaking of NWA, worst promotion? NWA for me.
Yep.
Brett, sounds like the same for you.
Yep. Same here.
Same
Me
for
too.
Senator. Same for Morton. Adam, you going to clean sweep us?
No, I don't really know enough about it to say it's
All
the
you
worst.
need to know
I'm sure
is
it's terrible.
Tyrus
I've
being
seen
Fox
what I've seen.
News
It's terrible.
and the cocaine, and they almost lost the CW deal. Like it's the fucking worst.
But I still like Billy Corgan.
Oh yeah, no one's saying anything about Billy Corgan. It's about Tyrus
So-
and everybody else.
We haven't.
But I don't know any of that, so I still like Billy Corgan. So I'm going to say Ring of Honor. I like it just feels like it's faltering. It's not doing anything. It's not separating enough from AEW, but then it's not it needs to separate more. Like I don't know. It's weird. I am not liking it.
That's when we go to
Is
worst team.
what
Go ahead,
what
Morton.
what they should be doing is they should be doing a more mainstream show with AEW and have their more hardcore, profanity filled, edgy show be ROH. That's what
Hmm.
they should be doing.
Yeah, I think they don't have the resources or
Differentiate
something to run both separately. That they just have to kind of lump them. It
Yeah,
feels
exactly.
very
Differentiate them
tacked
that
on.
way or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is the worst TV show, and just gonna go NWA Power. It was that or
Yeah.
Rampage. It's kind of what Adam was like. Rampage, I just couldn't do it because it seems like there's still really good matches in it, especially at the end of the year. Seemed like AEW's like, fuck it, we'll just throw in really interesting, weird matches for people to enjoy. And the Edmonton show I went to, Rampage was one of the more fun parts. So much as I want to give it to Rampage for not being anything show, the matches are still really good. NWA is still NWA. The only good part about it is that Mojibari's there.
I
Senator?
don't know if this is if I can use this one, so you guys tell me yes or no. But to me, the worst TV show is Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, I count that.
Oh yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Good.
I just feel like they're pointless. Like, yeah.
Morn, where you going?
I recently watched an episode of MLW Fusion. Every now and then I give MLW a shot. It was just so sad. So sad.
There's so much talent there.
Cry. I know there is, but it's just sad.
Brett, where you
But
going?
Matt Riddle.
It's NWA for sure, but
Yeah, NWA Power.
yeah.
Adam?
I'm still gonna say Raw. It's too long. I just can't watch it.
Fair.
I can see clips on it, but it's not the show. I don't want to be sitting down for 3 hours watching this show.
Most overrated is next, and we were just talking about this, and I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think Morton's gonna like this pick, but it's Jon Moxley. I'm over it. It's the same shit over time, bleeding all over my screen. He's a good wrestler. He's a good promo. He's a very talented guy. I'm just over it. I just don't want to see him on my TV anymore. I'm just over it. He bleeds every single match. He gives good matches, good promos, all that, but I'm just sick of him seeing him on my TV all the time and doing the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna go Jon Moxley. Adam?
It's funny that the three that I was leaning towards were all Shield members this year.
That's not
And
wrong.
I think from my last year hatred for this person, it's
Seth
gonna be
was
Roman
second for me.
Reigns.
Seth was second for me.
It's Roman Reigns this year and always and forever and for the last 10 years. He's been the most overrated and the worst, and I hate him, and he's awful. He needs to give up the title and just like let somebody else do something.
Yeah.
Like it's stupid.
Hate,
It's
hate,
so
hate,
boring.
hate, Brett.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with someone a little off the board just because I don't understand why this person has a title and why they're in the position they are. But Big Bill, why is he a tag team champion right now? Like, I get that they kind of played into the whole him and Ricky, they're not friends, they don't know anything about each other, but it's just he's big. That's his whole gimmick. That's all he's ever been, is I'm tall. And I don't get
big,
it.
and he's a named Bill. Morton?
His popularity so incredibly his popularity is through the roof, but his skill level at everything is so bad. Yeah, LA Knight. It's LA Knight. He doesn't deserve popularity and the success he's having based on his ability.
Yeah.
I've been preaching this all year.
Yeah.
And
Adam was ahead of this
too.
Adam was ahead of the curve on this.
I did not understand any of the love this guy was getting. It was cheap pops. It was cheap Attitude Era like gimmick that was like, I'm a ripoff of all these cool people you used to like. And it's like, that's lame. And then he wrestles and you're like,
Yeah, pretty much.
Terrible.
Brett?
Which one? I think.
Oh, you
I think
pretty sure I already. Yeah,
I think it's just me. I think it's just me.
Yeah.
Mine is not a wrestler. Mine is the friendship of the Young Bucks. It is the most
Ooh.
overrated thing because how many feuds has started because they used to be friends, they're not friends anymore. Like that is,
I like that. It's creative.
yeah,
That's good.
The
Worst
6 degrees of
broadcast.
Young Bucks.
Worst
exactly.
broadcaster. I've done this now 3 years in a row, and it pains me. It's Jim Ross. He's just not good anymore. He doesn't have it anymore. Just put him in the back in a consultant role, but he's not good on the broadcast. Please take him off air.
But is
Morten,
Freddie Mercury alive?
you spilled my beer.
I think I already told you what my worst broadcaster was,
Suck a
and
duck
it
it.
was
Yeah.
Booker T. But I also need to add because there's somebody tied with him for me, and that's Kevin Patrick. Is that
Oh,
his name? Yeah.
you know
So
what's so weird about Kevin Patrick? Did you see his MLS highlights?
He's so much better on
What
MLS.
the,
I
he,
love him
what
in
the Atlanta
MLS.
Dream he
He's
calls for,
amazing.
right? Or whatever Atlanta FC is, and he's
yeah.
so good for Atlanta. It makes no sense.
So those are my two. Booker T tied with Kevin Patrick.
Brett,
I mean, me personally, I hate the obnoxious heel commentators who like cut off everybody and
oh
just
yeah,
like scream and cheer for people. So as much as I love him, I'm picking Nigel McGuinness because I
ooh,
think he's fantastic, but I don't love what they're doing with him. I hate what they're doing with him right now. I think he should be doing something that's just not being just super obnoxious and just like screaming over Excalibur and whoever he's commentating with the whole time.
You didn't you don't like him calling Brian Danielson a clam digger? Come on, that's great every time.
I
How about 2 weeks ago when they had him on camera and he had a shirt on saying "Save the clams" and he had this huge grin on his face. It was just come on. All
Morton.
right. Yeah. Um, you guys want to talk about black hole charisma? A couple times during the G1, Chase Owens did
Oh yeah,
color commentary.
he was bad. He
You
was bad.
cannot imagine just how bad and how boring. It's like if Ivy Nile unscripted
Another dig at Ivy.
calling a match. It was brutal.
Um, and Adam.
Yeah, I'm with you on JR. I feel bad doing it because
Yeah.
I love the guy, but yeah, no.
Next up, this is the meanest award I have. Please retire.
oh I'll
CM
start.
Punk.
I'll
Sorry, I just went.
Senator,
You're
you start.
second.
oh please retire. Hardy Boys. Get out of here. I'm
Ooh,
done
I
with you.
love it.
Get out. Move. Go. Like
I love that one actually. Morton,
Yeah, CM Punk. Did I not mention CM Punk?
I thought you were joking.
CM Punk is go away heat with me. I'm done with the dude.
All right,
Just done with him. I'm less likely to watch Raw than ever because that guy's on it.
no comment. Adam,
Yeah, I had the same as the senator. I had Hardy Boys. I do have a caveat though from wrestling. Get them out of wrestling. They could have a backstage role. They could have management roles. They could have ballet roles.
they
But
tried
no
that
more
with Matt, and
wrestling.
it was all really bad.
But I think they could still do something. But like, no more wrestling for either of them, please.
Brett, where are you going?
Well, I mean, he's not really active as a wrestler, but he's still showing up on my TV, and I don't know why anymore. And it's Ric Flair. I
Oh,
don't
that's a
know why
great one.
AW brought him back. Like, and I'm so afraid they're gonna have a like geriatric Ric Flair wrestling Sting in his last match just because he's Tony Khan. Like, I'm so scared it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's Soraya.
I like
Just
That's
that.
a good one.
I don't enjoy her wrestling. She has go away heat with me. She's not good on the microphone anymore. I'm still worried about her neck personally for her. And I didn't like her winning it all out. I thought that was the wrong decision at all out. She's just not enjoyable to watch. Like she came back and it was like, yeah, didn't really need you to come back. So I'm going with Soraya. Morton, most disgusting promotional tactic.
So I had the signing of Ric Flair as this.
That was mine
So
too.
you
That was
know,
mine too.
I mean, that is you signed this dude after the you know
Dark side.
allegations that came out that we all pretty much know are true, and then you're promoting his drink, and you justify it by saying, well, he's essentially paying for himself. I don't care. You're putting him on TV, giving him a mic in front of an audience, and just brutal.
That I co-sign that with Ric Flair. It made me less want to watch AW and a little bit less excited about Sting's retirement. I'm excited for Sting's retirement, but everything he had, and then the obviously the promo that he cut on Rampage, that was really gross as well. Adam.
Worst promotional tactic is pretending that AEW Fight Forever is a good video game and spending so much time and energy on this thing. I've still never played it because as soon as it came out, it was like, what is this? I don't want it anymore. But I was so excited for it.
It was on both our pop culture most anticipated lists.
Yeah. And I haven't even thought about trying it because it just looked so terrible and has just fallen through the cracks of everything.
I love that pick. Senator?
Y'all already mentioned it, but my part of it is, Morten brought it up, was Tony Khan's explanation of the payments for Ric Flair. I think that was more disgusting than actually just signing him, trying to justify it as they are paying us. And also, on behalf of Adam, I will continue to say this: the Young Bucks pretending to be sneakerheads. Those are two horrible promotional tactics.
Cosign.
Just for something different, I will go with I'm sick of these matches being like sponsored. So the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match was just so fucking stupid, and I hated it. And then like they did another one too. I think it was the one with the Mysterios. Yeah. And then like I think they had the War Games match. The advantage was based on a Ruffles.com poll or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
But if we didn't have the Mountain Dew Pitch Black night, we wouldn't have got Cody in the presser being like, guys, I gotta be honest, it's good.
That was funny.
Also, if we didn't get the Ruffles promotion, we wouldn't have had the return of R-Truth.
It's true. That's true.
This is true. Worst theme song, Adam?
Worst theme song, and it's the person who I had the best theme song last year because I knew they were going to lose their theme song, and it's Jungle Boy with his Beethoven theme.
Is it made out of real glass?
Because his theme was so good. And it was like the most over theme in AEW, probably. And then they're losing the Jungle Boy. Now we're calling him Jack Perry, and it's like, this theme isn't working. It's not doing it.
Morten?
It just occurred to me that the CM Punk is back on my TV well before Jack Perry. Like I just hate, like, that's crazy. Last year I gave it to AEW Dynamite, and they haven't changed it, so it will be the AEW Dynamite.
I love how AEW got your best and worst.
Well, the AEW, they did. Collision is a great one, and then this is just some guy screaming at me. It's some guy can't sing screaming at me. Until they get rid of that damn awful music, it's gonna win.
Senator?
I have written down Nia Jax's new theme song.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
But I am gonna go with the remake of Johnny Gargano's one. I think that was horrible. So I'm gonna go with Johnny Gargano.
Great pick. Brett?
I'm going with Logan Paul's. It's just super generic general rock, and there's nothing to it. And for like the guy having as much money as he does and as many connections, it's unbelievable he hasn't like created his own theme song with like a top artist yet. How has that not happened?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that one as well. I too, just to be different, Saraya, her boyfriend, Google it.
Ronnie Radke, stand-up guy.
Yeah, just like to say, Google it. The fact that they're still using that kind of goes as just as bad the Flair thing is. Worst babyface, Brett?
CM Punk. I mean, the world is just clamoring for him to be a heel. I feel like many people, if he's gonna be in. And when he had that Ricky Starks feud, I couldn't believe they turned Ricky. It made no sense to me for him to be the heel in that.
No, it made no sense. Senator?
Yeah, I may have to agree. Because I have written down Rhea Ripley because she gets cheered more than anything else, and she's supposed to be a heel. But
Wouldn't that be
no.
worst heel then?
Oh, I have one for worst heel. Don't worry, worst worst heel. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go with CM Punk. I'm gonna agree with Brett on that one.
Morton.
That's who I had too. I have written down CM Punk. For months, this guy was pushed as a babyface while getting booed out of the building, and stubbornly was pissed off about it. That's a bad babyface.
Adam.
Yep. Punk. Check. Co-sign.
All right. How can I go against the crowd in this one? I do agree with the side of I will pick Punk, and I do agree with the sense of he's just dying to be a heel. Even the stuff in WWE of like being home and all that bullshit. That I do think is bullshit. It just seems like it's just dying to have that evil heel CM Punk that we all know he's much better at as well. So I will pick Punk for that. Senator, you said you had a really good heel. Let's hear it. Worst heel.
So what I had written down was Jungle Boy, right?
Yeah.
But I am changing it to Street Profits and Bobby Lashley because they keep trying to make him heel, and all they do is just get cheered more every time they're pushing him as a heel. So Street Profits and Bobby Lashley.
It's a good one. Adam?
That's a good one.
I had a member of the Judgment Day on this, even though I love Judgment Day, and it's Finn Balor. I just don't buy Finn Balor as a heel very much. He is a babyface always and forever should be kind of in my mind, and I just don't. He's just not doing it the same as everyone else in the faction in the camp.
Morton?
Julia Hart, because I think she's badly miscast in the gimmick, so I think she's badly miscast as a heel.
Brett?
Just Baron Corbin. I mean, he's had a better year, but I will never get on board with Baron Corbin.
Man, why kick a guy when he's down?
That was his whole gimmick for like 3 months. It's just getting kicked while he's down.
I agree with Morton. Julia Hart. I'm spooky, so I'm a heel. Ooh. I don't buy it. Worst faction, Brett.
Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I don't know what they're supposed to be.
Senator, you
I think they could be
that?
great, and I think they will.
I think they could be.
They could be.
No, they're gonna get there. They're gonna get there. I think they don't actually know exactly where. I kind of like the fact that they called up Humberto and Angel Garza to go with Santos Escobar to do a feud with them. I think that'll be good. But my worst faction, hell no, I'm not gonna go with Bobby Lashley and Street Profits. I am going with the Schism. Because you have Joe Gacy,
yes.
You have the Rock's daughter, and then you had the Dyads who ended up leaving, who were supposed to leave a lot earlier because they asked for their release, did not get granted it, then actually got to win a match, then leave. Made no sense. So the Schism.
That's a good pick. Morton?
I got the Elite. Not that I don't think that they're awesome. I think they're awesome, and they had some good stuff this year. Well, they had some good stuff this year, but this is also the worst year they've had.
Yeah.
Having some good stuff isn't good enough. When you're the Elite, you're expected to have elite level stuff, elite level matches and angles and everything. And just look at the momentum that the Bucks have at the end of this year. And I just go, it's just the worst year for them. And so it's not that they're not great, it's that they didn't have a great year.
Adam?
Yeah, the Elite, they're super boring to watch. I have no interest in anything going on with them anymore. Not that I really did in the beginning, but I'm like even further down.
I originally had QTV again because I just thought, what is this? So stupid. But you talked me into the Elite just because just the same kind of gimmick over and over. It kind of goes to the pick two of like, we're friends, we're not friends, we're friends, we're not friends. It's like a bad sitcom at times now. Like there's no reason for me to really care about what they do. There's no continuity with stuff. The Bucks are jerks, they're not jerks. Adam Page is mad at them, he's not mad at them. Morton, worst catchphrase.
Okay. If you're not Booker T, if you're Booker T, you make this work. But if you're anybody else, just think about it. think about it. Shucky ducky quack quack.
It's the best.
Hey, come on now.
I love it. I love it. Suck it, ducky. By the way, I saw this thing today that I don't know if you saw Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers game, Booker showed up with Sharmell, and Tyrese Halliburton said that Booker T has a chance to be the new Shannon Sharp. And so for those that Adam, you may not get this reference. I think the others will. Shannon Sharp just kind of goes everywhere. Now they call him Uncle Shannon because everyone just loves Shannon Sharp. He's a former tight end, Adam. And Tyrese Halliburton says Booker T has that opportunity to be that for a lot of athletes as well. Because there's a side of you love him, you hate him, you just kind of know what he is. And he's just good with everybody, though. Senator, where are you going for worst catchphrase?
All right. I thought in the very beginning that this was all right, but the more that it's being used is the more that I'm starting to hate it. And it's supposed to come from your baby face, and it is a simple one. So, what do you want to talk about?
Oh,
Okay. In the very beginning, it was cool. I think now he needs to change it up.
not Ron. Adam.
The worst catchphrase of the year is yeet.
Oh,
It's 2023. That is a slang that nobody uses anymore, and they are unironically using it as like a fun and exciting and get everyone behind him thing. Like it doesn't work. I don't know why anybody says it. The Usos are just cringy in my mind, and Yeet doesn't do it.
it was the press
It's
conference that
bad.
got me over.
I think we all know what we're getting you for your birthday this year.
Oh, hell yeah.
A yeet? A Yeet tee?
Brett?
Yeah, it's like
Taking
2016.
underwear.
I mean, Morton and Adam took both my answers. So I'll go with Shucky Ducky Quack Quack because it's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mine is from Chris Jericho. He's been trying to get this over for 3 years and it just doesn't work. It's GFY. He keeps on trying to get this GFY, get the fuck out. He tries to get it over like every year. He tries to get it over and it doesn't work. Just stop it, Jericho. It's not going to work.
Wouldn't it be go fuck yourself?
Yeah,
That's what it is.
that's
Thank you.
what it
Thank
is.
you. Go fuck yourself. It never works.
You go fuck yourself.
Worst Booker of the year. Brett, I'll let you have the honors in this one.
It's Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins.
That's my pick as well.
He
Mine
booked
as well.
himself into a Disney World spot, though, didn't he? To do Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Senator, who's your worst Booker?
Because I refuse to watch the show anymore, it has to be Billy Corgan.
Morton, where are you going?
Yeah, I had the same. So, do we have a sweep? Please? Come on.
I don't think we have it.
No,
Adam?
no sweep. No sweep. I already
You
said
already
Triple
said.
H was my best
Yeah.
and worst.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Triple H is my worst because of Roman Reigns. Because of still having Roman Reigns as the champion, that just trumps everything that you do, and because it's your main event, it's your big title, it's everything that the company stands for, and it's just so bad. And he's not losing for the foreseeable future. He can't. Like, there's no way. It's just a bad booking yourself into a corner situation.
Morton, worst wrestling match of the year.
Shayna versus Ronda at SummerSlam.
I know you're waiting for this.
Damn, that's one of the worst matches that I can ever recall watching.
Yeah, it was bad. And because Ronda's bad.
It was bad that they tried to roll around and do this shoot stuff, and nobody cared. And it just was slow and sloppy and awful.
Adam.
Worst match of the year?
Yep.
It was the pitch black Mountain Dew match.
Yeah,
and I feel bad saying it, but it's part of the reason because it's Bray's last match. And that's just so sad that that's the way you have to kind of go out.
Yeah.
And to throw LA Knight in there as in a worst, he gets a worst something.
Senator?
This you both brought up some really good matches. I'm going to bring up a match that was only 2 minutes and 12 seconds. I had to really look up how long this match was, and it was still the worst match of the year, and that was Ivy Nile versus Ava Rain for Ava Rain's in-ring debut. That was unbearable.
Okay, sorry, what was it again?
Ivy Nile versus Ava Rain.
Oh yeah, that was bad. And Ava was really bad in that match. Brett.
Uh, Jeff Jarrett versus Jeff Hardy, Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match.
Oh.
I mean, it 100% is Shayna and Ronda. That is by far the worst match, but that one I'm giving a special shout out.
See, you guys forgot about the worst match of the year. It is from NXT, the Great American Bash. It is Baron Corbin versus Gable Stevenson.
Oh,
Oh, that was a nightmare.
That
Yeah.
was an absolute
That's a
Not
good
as
nightmare.
one.
bad as Ron and Shayna, but a nightmare.
It made them realize that Gable was not the guy. It was the one of the few matches where the crowd's like, fuck this guy, he's a piece of shit. We'll cheer for Baron Corbin because we hate this guy so much. Pretty remarkable stuff.
Yeah, but the crowd doesn't know what they want. Isn't that what Vince told you a long time
The
ago?
crowd never knows what they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Classic
Uh,
Vince.
Well, Senator, who was the worst tag team of 2023?
All right, there's a lot of tag teams to choose from on this one here, but honestly, I'm not taking away from their in ring, but DIY they get no cheers coming out anymore. Like if you remember DIY in its heyday, that's the DIY versus the revival, all that type of stuff, and them coming together now has not been good.
That's a very good pick. Adam.
I'm gonna go with the fake sneakerheads, the Young Bucks.
Buckaroos.
There's been nothing interesting to watch. I've never been a fan of them, and this year was just even more so of just same old for me.
Morton.
The Righteous. They tried to make them look like a serious threat to take the tag titles from MJF. Then he beat them 2-on-1. And the whole snapping the fingers thing could maybe get over, but it doesn't because something's just off with the act. And the Righteous for me.
Brett, where are you going?
I'm going with the most recent WWE just hitting randomize on their 2K game to come up with a tag team for the women's division, and that's Natalya and Tegan Knox. Because like there's no reason they should have been together. It was this weird like, oh, I'll be your mentor because you beat me.
Yeah, you gotta learn from the boat.
Oh, that was bad. That's a bad catchphrase.
I'm going. Those are all great picks. I'm going with the Hardys because who gives a shit anymore?
Yeah.
Like they're a shell of themselves. Like remember when Edge and Christian came there and we're like, oh, we're all so excited for maybe a TLC match. I'm like, I'd rather see the Dudleys. And Bully Ray had some bad stuff. Bully Ray got unscathed, by the way, because Bully Ray had a match over a podcast this year with him and Tommy Dreamer. He got away with some stuff Bully Ray did, but at least the Dudleys can still go. I think Devon looked okay at the reunion. The Hardys are just get off my TV. I have no interest in anything you do. Jeff is a shell of himself. Matt's annoying. Hardys.
And when you don't get a push, then why would you ever care?
Exactly.
And they're not getting a push, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, so be leaders in the locker room then, because that's what you're supposed to be at this point. Morton, your worst female of the year. I think I know where you're going.
Gee, I know Nia Jax Russell, so by
did.
rule, don't I have to pick her?
She was
But
actually okay though.
It's still Ronda. Come on,
It's Ronda.
It's Ronda.
It's Ronda. That's my pick. Actually, no, that's not my pick. Nah, I'll come back. Senator.
Ava
Rain.
Rain.
Yeah, she was bad. She was real bad. Adam.
Well, I had Ronda up there. I toyed with Charlotte for a while just because I hate her. She has go away heat for me. I toyed with Britt just because of her downfall this year was just
Yeah.
so lame. But the worst female wrestler of the year is Chris Statlander, and it's because she is the one that dethroned Jade Cargill this year in the most disappointing moment in AEW history, and then has done nothing of any sort of impact. So worst, Chris Statlander.
Brett.
Senator totally jogged my memory. And Ava Rain, 100% is the worst.
I'm going with Saraya. Get off my TV.
Shocking.
Just really annoying. I'm just over it. I'm done. Brett, worst male wrestler.
Oh, it's the Funkasaurus himself. It's Tyrus. It's gotta be.
Yeah. It's a great pick. Senator.
Because I haven't watched any NWA, like Tyrus is always going to be on my worst wrestler. Like it doesn't matter. But from people that I've watched, I know Brett, you said he's going to have a big year next year, but this year was not the year. He had really good promos going into it until he ended up wrestling a match and it fell so flat. And that is Lexus King.
Wow.
Adam. I like that pick too.
Well, second year in a row, potentially, I think, for this one. Longest reigning worst male wrestler in my review, Roman Reigns. This man wrestled 7 times on television, and you're the Universal Champion, 5 title defenses in 12 months. Plus, you just have like nothing going for you in terms of charisma anymore. It's all just like bland as hell.
Hasn't
Terrible.
Maxine wrestled more than him this year?
She might have. He had a couple house shows, so maybe we give him
Cena
one a
almost
month.
beat him. Cena almost beat
Yeah.
him.
I think he might have 12 matches if you count house shows, but 7 televised matches in 12 months, and you're the champion of all champions. Terrible.
Morton?
7, and how many of those were title defenses? Like how many of those were
5.
tag teams? That's
Two
5
two
title
were
defenses.
tags. 5 title defenses, 2 tag matches.
Maxine Dupree has had 6 matches this year
Wow.
On TV?
Wow.
on TV.
Go Maxine. Killing it. How many were title defenses?
Who for
All of
Maxine
them.
didn't have a title defense.
All of them.
Morton,
The
who's your
boat.
worst?
I thought
The
about-
next boat.
I thought about LA Knight. I thought about Austin Theory. But the truth is, the worst guy, Satnam Singh. Like, come on. He's been around for 3 years, other than being 7'6" or whatever the hell he is. He does nothing. Like that guy, you try and hide him in tag team matches, you can't hide awful. You just can't. And that guy's terrible. He'll never be anything. And
Yeah,
I don't
he just
get-
re-signed with AEW.
still employed. Pardon me?
He just re-signed with AEW too.
I just don't get it.
I think I'm making history here for the first time ever, going from best wrestler of the year to worst wrestler of the year. My worst wrestler of the year is Chris Jericho. Just everything.
year.
It's not bad in ring, but everything he touches turns to shit. He just couldn't get anything over. Everything he touched, completely. It was just a completely forgettable year with Jericho. To the point, I debated putting him in a please retire this year because everything was just so forced to the annoying stuff he does on Twitter as well. Not knowing to stop when people have the January 6th stuff right there from his wife. They hit him on every single time. He was just. Can you tell me one thing Chris Jericho did that was memorable outside of the Will Ospreay carried him in the match? It just. He was not the worst.
Announcing Kenny Omega is injured.
There you go.
That's
And
it.
that promo against Big Bill and Ricky clinched it because Kenny shouldn't have been in that ring that day because of the diverticulitis and everything that was going on. But Jericho was so bad in that segment. so bad. And everything he touched was just absolutely turned to shit all year. So last year he was my wrestler of the year. This year he's my worst wrestler of the year, Chris Jericho. And there we go. Before we get out of here, I want everyone to make one big prediction for 2024. And Adam, you can't mention Jade Cargill for yours.
That's the only prediction that matters, though. Then you're gonna have to come back to me because that's
okay. You can have one
prediction.
Jade Cargill and one non-Jade Cargill for yours.
Jade is winning a title this year in
Okay.
WWE.
Okay, Morten, your big prediction.
Oh, this is way to let us be prepared. I
Yep.
appreciate that.
I have to always have something to keep you on your toes.
Honestly, let's go with Gunther loses the title to somebody who's currently in NXT.
Okay, I like it. Dragunov, is that your way of saying Dragunov? Is that your way of saying he's going to lose it to Dragunov?
Let's say it's somebody in NXT. Certainly, currently, I could be Dragunov. It very well could be.
Senator.
Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile are winning the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania.
Okay, I like it. Brett.
Got a couple, but I think
if you got a couple, roll them off.
Well, I was gonna say I think Damian Priest cashes in Money in the Bank, on Seth Rollins after he beats Punk, or he'll cash in on one of them once they win. But my other one is 2024 Money in the Bank winner is going to be Tiffany Stratton.
My twos that I have, Sasha Banks returns and saves Bayley at the Rumble and helps Bayley win the Royal Rumble. And at Mania, The Rock and Cena will team against Austin Theory and Waller.
I thought that too.
Because I just think some way they're going to be involved. And I think Solo is versus Randy Orton.
Or you know what it could be? Instead of Rock and Cena, it could be Rock and Pat McAfee.
There you go. And if I wish I knew his contract, I would say Nakamura returns to New Japan because of the Tanahashi news. But I don't know his contract. But if I knew Nakamura was a free agent this year because of the Tanahashi news, I would say Nakamura will return to Japan because of his relationship with Tanahashi.
I'm going to put one ridiculous one out there to end off for me. I'm out after this. But Forbidden Door 2024, you will see the greatest match of all time. That is Morton's worst wrestler of the year versus what possibly could have been all of our worst wrestlers of the year. And that is Almost.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Oh my God.
The true.
Oh,
I'm ready. I want it.
Oh.
The true Forbidden Door.
That is the true Forbidden Door. I kind of want it now. Adam, do you have a non-Jade one?
I got two. I think, and I hope that we're gonna have Dom and Logan Paul at Mania for the U.S. title, and I think
it's going to be LA Knight,
and I think it steals the show. And then December 31st, 2024, Roman Reigns will still be the Universal Champion.
That was my final question. I was going to ask everybody.
Never bet against Roman Reigns.
Brett, do you think Roman will be the champion for the review show next year?
No, I don't.
Senator?
I don't.
Morton?
This is tough because if Cody does get that shot at Mania, I think they have to finish the story. But I no longer think he's getting the shot. I did 3 months ago. So I think he'll still be champ. Yeah.
I don't, but I don't know if it will be Cody. I wonder if it would be Solo.
No. Well, there's another Money in the Bank, right? So there could be another Money in the Bank cash in at the end of the year.
Because that stupid Hogan thing is something they may want to do, of him passing Hogan. So there's that.
Yeah,
Does
never
anyone
bet
else-
against Roman.
There
Never
you go.
bet against
And,
Roman.
and then the thing is, they're like, well, he's past
Did we do
Hogan.
this
He might as
last
well
year?
pass. Yeah, we talked about it last year with 1,000. We said the same thing. He's like, he's past 1,000. Then he'll get to Hogan, and then once they get to Hogan, they're gonna be like, well, he's past Hogan. You might as well pass Bruno now. Like, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. But what did we say?
tell
Did
you
we
why
all
not.
say he would have the title or no?
We all said yes, except for Joel. So that's why Joel's not on this show anymore. He got fired. Anyone else have any quick predictions before we get out of here?
No, this was a long enough show, but a
Yep.
good enough show. So
Yeah.
let's wrap it up.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Your Wrestling Podcast will be back regular in probably the next 2 weeks because we still have other review shows coming here. Thank you to Brett, Adam, to Senator, and Morten, Joshua, Adam, William, Mark without here. Until next time, folks, cheers and enjoy the match, people.
Thank you for listening to the Fresh Take Network. Follow us on social media platforms at Fresh Take 42.